I've never been into a place where I showed the picture and talked like Jamestown, because right here in this place were people that I talked about in the picture. Right here were kids just like you, your age. When I came to ABC with the idea of doing this as a children's picture, because you are the ones who are going to save this world, you are the ones who are going to tolerate people and friendships, make friendships, which is what it's about, which I did in my own humble way. It was the first picture I ever made, and I was lucky, as they told you, to win quite a few awards with it. So let's look at the picture, and I thank all the parents for coming, but I want you kids to watch it, you guys, to watch it carefully, because I'm going to ask questions at the end. And you want to look good, don't you? So let's go on with the picture. I made a film, the first film I ever made, myself. And I sold it. ABC said they'd give me the money. It wasn't much, but it was the first film. They were so surprised. They're starting a show to get the kids who would come home from their mothers were working and the fathers were working. What do they call them? Latchkey kids, sure. Right. And I figured, geez, something's got to be done. And I was a bug on history.
It's called Follow the North Star. Yeah. And what's the premise?
The premise is a corny story. I'm after the kids. Mm-hmm. And ABC is after trying to build up that afternoon audience. And I said, you don't do anything in history. One of the most exciting times nobody knows about, which was follow the North Star. Follow that star up north to freedom.
Just follow my finger. See it?
No, where?
Just look.
Sky's full of stars. Keep your hands still.
That's the Big Dipper over there. And those are the stars in the handle. Just follow the last two, and it'll point you to the North Star. See it?
After those two? That one over there?
That's it.
That's the North Star, eh?
That's her.
Always in the same place?
It better be. It's taking us home.
And I went to work on it, and I said to the writer, I want a play between two kids. And it's simple. It's the old story. We did the slaves under Harriet Tubman, whose name had never been on TV before, are working their way up north. And they stop at this home, the conductor's home, and hide, and they're almost caught, and they're having these experiences, and which gave me a chance to set the thing. And all of a sudden a kid comes running in, the conductor's son, and he said, the bounty hunter's in town, and how much he's offering for everybody. And he's going to help his father and so forth. His father says, no, you're staying here with us. And he appeals to Harriet Tubman, which gives me a chance to bring all that stuff in. And Harriet Tubman says, no, you help your father. Anyhow, the kid is left behind. Harriet and the blacks are on their way to Canada, because that's where freedom is. And I tell you, I was all goosebumps when I had done research on it, But when you right here were telling me about holes where they dug holes in the skin, and you make a damn good speech. So the more I got into it, the more they liked it. And it was at the time I told you I was in business for myself, and I had no money and no cigarettes, we'll say. The story was the white boy escapes that night, not escapes, he runs away. He's going to find the little black boy whose mother was there and who got separated from his mother, and he knows she knows they are going to send him to another place or kill him for trying to escape. And they killed the whites as well as the blacks. See, it's such a compelling story, and nobody ever does anything about it. I won an Emmy with it, too.
Congratulations.
And the Catholic Church, of all people, were so taken with this film on tolerance, because in the end, the story that I wanted and came out beautifully was the black boy he was trying to save hated him, because all blacks hated whites, and still do to a great extent, now that I'm an expert on race relations. And the white boy said to the black boy, you can hate me, do whatever you want, but I'm taking you home to your mother. But he said that, you're the best friend I ever had. And that's what I want the kids to remember. But if you want, I'll loan you one, and if you're a good boy, you can have it.
I would love to see it. Call Aaron back up here. I knew we had a couple of questions and maybe some comments, so Aaron, join us again.
So many things I wanted to tell you guys. For one thing, the only instruction that I got from the American Broadcasting Company was make sure it will appeal to the children from 8 to 14. Now, this is the first film I ever made. I had made some tapes before and been pretty lucky with them. But this film, the New York Times, the next day, now I don't know how many of you guys know, but that's just about the world's largest newspaper, wrote such a wonderful article about this on the fact that it should be played instead of in children's time in the middle of the network, where the whole family could sit together and enjoy it and ask and answer questions. And that's what happened. But I want you to remember some of the great lines in this picture. When he turned to this man, David, remember, on the top of the hill? And he turned to him and he said, I never knew a man like you. You've got to meet people, kids. And when a new boy comes to your class, or when an old woman needs help across the street, promise me that if you can, in this week, you will help them some way or the other. And I'll tell you, we got a letter last week from, I don't know where it was from, though. But this girl wrote that there was a girl down the street whom my mother did not want to come into our house. She didn't know her, but she didn't want her to come in. Well, I did what I promised you I would. I went and I talked to her. And now she came to my house with me. And now she is my mother's favorite.